What's shaking YouTube? And welcome back into the Hollywood Rip studio for episode 11 of the Hobby Headquarters. It's official, the most expensive game-used ball from any sport has sold at auction this week. The NBA has officially tipped off for 2024, and as we promised last week, we have some in-depth breakdown and talk of games 1 and 2 of the World Series between the Yankees and the Dodgers. But let's start off with the biggest auction story of the year. Shohei Ohtani's 50th home run ball. We've been watching this for the past month now.
Sure.
It officially closed at Golden Auctions for a record $4.4 million after the buyer's premium. That shatters the previous record of any ball, game-used ball, of any sport that's ever been sold. That record previously belonged to Mark McGwire's 70th home run ball, which was sold in 1999 for a little over $3 million. It came out that a Taiwanese company called UC Capital Ltd. is the winning bidder of the Ohtani 50th home run ball. It is an investment firm in Taiwan. They plan to pick up the ball in person, I believe. Right. And they have plans to display it in some sort of public exhibition. I don't know if they're trying to make money displaying it, or I've also heard they're trying to light the fire under the youth baseball academies of Taiwan.
That's nice.
But look, $4.4 million for this thing. But that isn't all. That isn't all. There is some controversy around this ball.
Of course.
As you guys probably know, there was a lawsuit that was alleged by an 18-year-old saying he caught the ball. Mm-hmm. A judge basically said that they could continue to auction the ball, which is exactly what they did. However, the winnings will stay in an escrow account until it is determined what percent goes to what person. Because apparently now there's also a second party that is alleging that they had sole possession of the ball with their left hand on the ground. I mean, like, can I claim possession that I had the ball?
It sure seems like
at this point?
Yeah.
Like, come on, people. Like, we couldn't have all been touching this ball.
Whoa.
So yeah, the judge let the auction proceed. The money is now in an escrow account, waiting until it's determined where this stuff goes, or where this money goes. I'm going to ask you, what do you think about a $4.4 million ball? What do you think of the whole lawsuit thing?
Yeah.
I'll let you start it off.
Do you know, I had to do this in the moment. First and foremost, UC Capital Limited sounds fake. I just want to make sure I put that out there. But that's cool that, look, if they want to stoke a fire under Taiwanese youth baseball, then you know what, I'm all for that investing. Mm-hmm. Taiwan does have a World Baseball Classic team as well. Don't they? I might be thinking of Chinese Taipei, actually.
I think it's Chinese Taipei.
Yeah. Ooh, that's a bad moment for me. Do you know how much $4 million US converts to in, I guess it's called new Taiwan dollars?
I have no idea. I have no clue.
Well, this is very tough for me with the zero. I believe that's over 128 million new Taiwanese dollars. How fun is that? We talked about it a few weeks ago. To me, the McGwire ball means more to me personally, but I get the idea. The Ohtani ball is very what's now. Although I forgot if we brought it up a few weeks ago that $3 million and 99 type of dollar, like
crazy.
That's actually pretty insane.
Crazy.
So I think someone out there agrees with me somewhat. In terms of the controversy and the lawsuits, it's a little crazy. Like, you didn't get it. Like, if you're holding it, here's a tip: don't go into litigation. Hit the gym. Okay. I'm sorry, your grip strength isn't good enough. All right.
Well, ironically, the person who ended up with the ball was actually pretty jacked. The dude in the black t-shirt.
Oh, for real? Oh,
yeah, I think he was pretty jacked. He was way more jacked than the 18-year-old who was like, I got the ball.
I'm underdeveloped. The other guy was probably like, "Oh, it's a public place. It's a foul ball. Like, we've all seen foul balls get ripped from people's hands and stuff.
What do you expect?
Yeah.
Do you think it'd be? I feel like it'd be interesting if they printed on these tickets when you bought a ticket, like any balls that go in the stands belong to Major League Baseball. That would solve this problem. Honestly, that would solve this problem.
That's true.
And then people would try and just put it in their pocket and run out.
Mm-hmm. That's actually an interesting point. There surely must be. There's got to be a reason they don't do that. I guess they don't really care.
For 99 out of
0.9%
of balls. Yeah.
Until it actually matters, though. Yeah. That's a good point. They probably have so much fine print on them. They're like, this one's fine. It usually comes back around. I don't know. There might be a lot to that.
Yeah, I understand your point about how the McGwire home run was maybe historically more significant. Obviously, it came out later that he was on steroids, and people have experts in the field assume that 70th home run McGwire ball today is worth somewhere between $250,000 and $400,000.
Huh. Not in my heart, though.
First 50-50 season ever, obviously, by the most unique player. To me, this one comes down. The value of this one comes down to Ohtani's legacy. Mm-hmm. Because we are in an era where achieving 50-50 is easier than ever. We've talked about it before.
Yes, that's a good point.
We've talked about it before. People are stealing 20 to 25% more bases per season right now than they are ever.
Or the last 20 years.
So I have two issues with this. Number one is, does Ohtani ever eclipse it?
Not after what happened yesterday.
But does he ever eclipse it, number one? And number two, it's what does his legacy end up being when it's all said and done? That will kind of determine the value of this ball. I don't think it will ever be I can't say invaluable. Invaluable means like crazy valuable.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I think so. Yeah.
I don't think it'll ever be as
it's
low.
Like saying something priceless.
Yeah, as like McGwire's ball in like the 300,000 range or something.
Oh yeah, you don't think it'll decrease in value?
No, I do think it will decrease,
but not to that degree.
But not to that degree,
right.
And I think it just depends on where he ends up, like where people view Shohei Ohtani in 10 years when it's all said and done. Does he go down as the best player ever? If he does, then this ball will be worth a heck of a lot of money still. But let's move to our second hobby topic, and that is Topps Now. Not how. Not yet.
Not yet.
Because Topps Now actually had some really, really cool stuff this week.
Yeah. Good week for Topps Now.
Yeah, and this is the third week in a row now that we haven't had like something really stupid.
The lizard.
Like yeah, exactly. Like we haven't had an animal, we haven't had a beekeeper, we haven't had like a security guard or an usher or something. Although that's stuff I know that you like.
What? What?
You've always said that you like the sort of off the beaten path stuff.
Oh, I see what you mean.
But
I think you meant like security guards. I'm like, I could care less.
But Topps Now, we'll start with LeBron and his son Bronny James. Mm-hmm. The LeBron-Bronny debut, father-son one-of-one autograph chase has officially begun. We'll put a picture of the card on your screen now. You can look it up. I don't know if you've seen it yet.
I haven't.
But it says father-son debut on it, one of one. Obviously, LeBron's signing it. Bronny is signing it. This is stupid.
I agree.
Like, and it pains me. It pained me to see Ken Griffey Jr. and Ken Griffey Sr. at this game, like celebrating with them as if it was some sort of achievement or something. This was not an achievement because this was staged. Bronny has no right to be in the NBA. The Lakers are kind of a joke of a franchise at this point, treating the team, their fans, in this way. Wasted a second-round draft pick, and a lot of you guys, a lot of people say, it was a 55th pick. Like, chill out, bro. And I'm like, okay, well, you know who else was a second-round pick? Someone named Nikola Jokic, guys.
Austin Reeves.
So look. This has turned into a circus. Somehow the Lakers are 3-0 right now. But what are your thoughts on LeBron and Bronny's first father-son one-of-one? This is I mean, this is like if any professional athlete had enough sway, they could have their son play
Sure.
for that. I mean, this is a joke.
No, it completely is. I watched the debut. I'm not sure if you had a chance to take it in.
I did.
He's got the organization over a barrel. That's sort of where I started from
Right.
when this was all being whispered that they might draft him. They sign every clutch sports guy as it is. They cater to his every need. He's basically 40. He's still effective for the time being, but it's also 3 games into the season. I watched the game, and they were dominating the Timberwolves, right? And then Bronny came into the game, and no joke, I believe it was a 9-0 run immediately by the Timberwolves. They were in complete control of that game, and it only got close because they put in a person who did not deserve to be on an NBA court. And from that point forward, they had the battle, or at least keep Minnesota, a solid team, mind you, at arm's length. He just doesn't look right out there. You know, he's too small.
I mean, he's a child.
He is. He is 20 years old. But, like, the very first offensive possession for Minnesota, Julius Randle, who is a bully of a man,
Took it right over him.
took it right at him. Right, and shot over him, didn't even get contested. And NBA players are so good, they're making that shot
Yeah.
10 out of 10 times. He has not played since, which tells you all you need to know.
Right.
It was 3 minutes, and I hope it was worth the photographs. I hope it was worth the moment. It is remarkable that someone has played this long that, in theory, he could play with his son.
Yeah.
That don't get me wrong, that is crazy. But this is not
No.
the Orlando Magic. You cannot let one person hold the Lakers, over a barrel. That's kind of crazy if you think about it.
No, it's wild. And having grown up in Los Angeles our whole lives, this is really feels a little bit like a slap in the face.
Oh, 100%.
And they're 3-0, but they're still allowing a ton of points a game, which
they
was a
can't shoot
problem
threes.
last year. And it's only a matter of time before those old legs cannot keep up on the back-to-back nights. This is it. Until this management group, coaching group, LeBron is gone. This franchise is one that I just cannot. I can't watch it. It's as if the NBA isn't hard enough to watch as it is, with everyone just jacking up threes,
True, I
like
agree.
nonstop.
This is the least interested I've been in. I'm sorry. This is the least interested I've been in the NBA in a long time.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would agree with you. But let's move to our second pretty cool. This one's cool. This one is really cool. Our second and third Tops Now updates.
Very interested in this one.
Yeah. Freddie Freeman, Tops Now World Series Game 1 walk-off grand slam, one-of-one autograph with Yankees and Dodgers game-used base relics, the actual logos of the team that was on the side of the bases.
Oh, nice.
That card is available on Tops Now. An unbelievable card for an unbelievable moment. That is the type of card that people are going to want. There's no gimmicks there. What else did Tops Now release? They released another one-of-one dual autograph of Kirk Gibson and Freddie Freeman, kind of in the same that same pose, hitting that walk-off home run. Pretty crazy that those walk-offs happened at the same time, too.
Like on the clock.
On the clock.
Yeah.
8:37 p.m.
That is
both of them. Wild. I think both these cards are so cool.
Yeah.
And of course, they're $11.99 plus shipping, and you have a shot at getting the one-of-one. We, of course, already ordered ours.
I might order that.
Just one. I always order just one. Like, literally, just one. What do you think about these two? These two are pretty crazy pieces of World Series history.
Absolutely. No, this is the type of stuff. Oh, that's really cool. The Gibson and Freeman one.
Yeah, but click there. Oh yeah, now you can see the autograph. But then go back and you can see or they might not have the Freeman one up still, but
Yeah. Regardless, really cool. Really cool. This is the kind of stuff that is earned, not given, as opposed to the story we just talked about.
right.
A walk-off grand slam in Game 1 of the World Series in extra innings, by the way. Let's not forget that point.
Yeah, exactly.
That's really cool. And yeah, the Gibson parallels are super sick. There's how many words can I figure out how many synonyms are there for cool?
Yeah.
This is what like Tops Now is all about.
This is what Tops Now should really be trying to go after.
But also lizards.
Also lizards. What was it? Lionel the lizard?
Yeah, Lionel the lizard.
But of course we have Tops Now, and a few weeks ago, my partner here came up with Tops How.
Tops How.
Tops How.
Had someone come up to me yesterday and be like, I love the Tops How segment. Truly.
And we have a couple candidates for you guys on Tops How this week where we celebrate not the great things that have happened in sports or the amazing accomplishments, but the ones that leave you scratching your heads.
How did that happen?
So, Tops How, number one for the week, is Bronny James. We will, shocker, right?
Yeah.
We will put that on the screen for you now. How's this one? Bronny James makes his NBA debut with Daddy, comes in with Daddy by his side, is only on the court with Daddy, and -5 in plus-minus in less than 3 minutes. How about this one? Dad Made Me Do It, signed Bronny James. Tops How.
You're nasty for that one.
One of one. Well, I mean, let's be honest. He has no business being on an NBA court. We don't even need to talk about this one anymore because we literally already talked about Bronny. So why don't we just move to card number 2, huh? Card number 2 of Tops How of the week. It belongs to Nestor Cortez.
Ooh.
Of course, starting pitcher, or should I say now closer for the New York Yankees.
Apparently.
He came in to a game, he came into game 1 in the bottom of the 10th with the Yankees leading by 1 run. He threw 2 pitches. He gave up the first ever game-winning walk-off grand slam in World Series history. He had not pitched in 6 weeks before this. I don't know if he's ever pitched out of the bullpen. But how's this one? Nestor Cortez. We have an Aaron problem.
Oh.
1 of 1. Signed Nestor Cortez. Of course, we're referring to Aaron Boone and Aaron Judge.
Oh, that's clever. That's good.
It's clever, right? Because both of those guys need to get it together. Speaking of which, transitions.
Well done.
Let's move to the World Series. The Dodgers held serve at home. They take a 2-0 lead over the Yankees into New York. We are filming this on a Sunday night, so they will be playing Game 3 tomorrow night in the Bronx. Jack Flaherty and Yoshinobu Yamamoto were stellar in the first 2 games, as was Garrett Cole.
Garrett Cole's
honestly.
great, yeah.
He was stellar. Ohtani did suffer a left shoulder subluxation, but it has been ruled that he is okay and will play in Game 3. When it happened last night, we were watching when that happened, and fortunately, my chiropractor was here. And so I asked him, subluxation, what does that mean prognosis-wise? Is he going to play? As long as he can't do any more structural damage, which I guess the Dodgers have ruled that part out, it's going to come down to Ohtani's pain tolerance. This is kind of eerily similar to like when Bellinger dislocated his shoulder.
Celebrating.
Celebrating back in 2020. Let's see. I mean, that would have been a huge blow to the World Series in general.
Massive.
If Ohtani was not able to go. But let's jump into a little more detail on some of these games. Game 1.
Right.
I'm not sure why Aaron Boone is pulling Garrett Cole after giving up a leadoff base runner in the 7th. He was lights out. I mean, lights out. And this is one of those scenarios where I don't care how good your bullpen is. The Dodgers were very happy to see Garrett Cole walk to the dugout.
Absolutely.
It kind of gave me shades of like when the Rays pulled Blake Snell after 6 against them in the World Series a few years ago. Of course, it's easy to say this in hindsight, but no idea why you're putting Cortez in the bottom bottom of the 10th, not having pitched in 6 weeks. He's a starter, bringing him out of the bullpen. I understand the whole, lefty, we want the lefty-lefty matchup, but I don't know if the Yankees, apparently the Yankees did not have the scouting report that Freddie Freeman over the past 2 years was hitting .623 with the bases loaded against lefties with 4 grand slams.
25 RBIs.
4 grand slams and 25 RBIs. Any thoughts on game 1?
Yeah, I mean, to me, and I said it to you right after the fact, it felt like a thievery.
Yeah.
Because the biggest strength for the Yankees in this matchup, similar to the Mets series, is that they have a semblance of a rotation. And they got the ace performance out of Cole. You get that out of Garrett Cole, you need to win that game if the New York Yankees, and they didn't. Not only that, they lost it in deflating fashion. They had, and it's going to be a much different talking point than game 2, but they had so many opportunities to run away with that one.
Yeah.
They need to slug at the moment. And by slug, I mean they need to hit home runs, basically.
Right.
They pieced together the third run of game 1 in the 10th inning. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Other than that, everything else has come on home runs, except for last night as well. But yeah, without the slug, they're just not really providing much of a punch back, and that's the biggest takeaway so far is they're not playing the AL Central anymore.
Right. We were there.
We were
there on Friday night. We saw Freddie Freeman hit that walk-off grand slam, and
the thing about the Nestor Cortez thing, we saw Tim Hill and Cortez warming up. Yeah. And when they brought in Cortez, we both looked at each other and was like, oh my God.
Well, Tim Hill actually walked to the front of the bullpen.
We thought he was coming in.
And we were like, oh boy, Tim Hill's, because we've seen a lot of Tim Hill.
Yeah, from his San Diego days.
Game 2, all about Yoshi Yamamoto.
Yeah.
This is what they're paying him to do. And we said if the Dodgers would have any shot in October, they'd need to score like 6+ runs a game, or Yamamoto would have to be elite.
Why not both?
We had Yamamoto in our invest ? Segment, his home field advantage card, which we are going to talk about later this week, tomorrow.
Yeah.
But Yamamoto's last 3 starts, 15.2 innings, 7 hits, just 3 earned runs, 14 Ks. His ERA is 1.97. Freddie Freeman homered in this game again in game 2. That makes 4 straight World Series games that he has homered in going back to 2021 with the Braves. It's obvious the Yankees have to win game 3.
Yeah.
Aaron Judge needs to wake the bleep up because Yankees batting depth has been what we thought it was essentially going into the series, which is awful.
Yeah, once you get past Chisholm, it's kind of a no man's land right now.
Yeah, exactly. But that's how it's been for a lot of the year.
It's true. Wells has had his moments.
Yeah. But look, if the if Dodger pitching is going to be up to snuff, as it has been so far, and the Yankees do not, and again, this isn't about the Yankees hitting home runs, right? The Yankees need to, because the Yankees are not putting together any sort of real consistent traffic on the bases.
Yeah.
If they're going to hit home runs, solo shots ain't going to do it against the Dodgers.
Exactly.
They need to be hitting 2-run homers and 3-run homers because the Dodgers are putting on so many more men on base, generally speaking, right? So if the Yankees don't start doing that, they're going to be in serious trouble. I think one of the only advantages I can see from the Yankees right now is that they have seen the Dodgers' biggest bullpen, most high-leverage bullpen arm, Blake Trinan, now for like 50, 60 pitches.
Yeah.
So that's good for them. They know what's coming. They almost got to him last night. They kind of did a little bit.
In a way they did, yeah.
But on the flip side of the coin, none of the Yankees relievers have looked like they've looked in the past couple series. And I don't know if it's just because we're playing, the Yankees had to play the Royals and the Guardians. The Royals and the Guardians, I'm sorry, but they're not the Padres or the Phillies.
You don't have to apologize for saying that.
Like, game 2, And your thoughts going into Game 3? I know we already touched on it a little bit. But.
Sure. It's kind of weird that, because you talked about the Trinan point, like the Dodgers' biggest advantage in this series is their bullpen and the depth of their bullpen. And I said it last series how you say a team has a good bullpen, that generally means you have like 2 high leverage go-to guys, whereas they kind of rely on, 3 or 4 guys.
Right.
But it's in a backhanded way, the strong starts by Flaherty and Yamamoto have shortened the game so much that Dave Roberts has then gone, well, high leverage only. Like we need to get the wins. Mm-hmm. And because of that, we've seen a lot of Trinan because we're using him as their bullpen ace.
Right.
And guys like Kasparius, guys like Gratterall, Brazier, Daniel Hudson hasn't gotten into a game yet.
Right.
And they haven't they haven't really used the depth for better or for worse. So when they first arrive, it's going to be their first taste, and it's going to be in a big moment, which is kind of a backwards way of thinking about it.
Yeah, it actually bodes, I think, very well for the Dodgers' looming bullpen game in Game 4.
I saw an interesting point. If they win tomorrow, which they have a good shot, Buehler looked great in Game 3 of New York.
Do they start Knack?
Yes, and I do. 100%. Knack and Kasparius. Just do it, right?
Yeah, I'm for it. I think they would earn the right to be able to do that.
100%.
Should it get there. But let's move to our next hobby topic, and that is our NFL update. Of course, as usual, we're going to rattle it off a little bit, talk about a few little points here and there, but the Rams upset the Vikings at home 30-20 as Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua took to the field together for the first time this season outside of the first 10 minutes of week 1 or something.
Precisely.
But I'm telling you, watch out for the Rams at full strength. Their division is looking really, really lean right now.
I agree.
And that offense at full strength is a show. The Texans held serve at home versus Indy 23-10. Stroud struggled again, but Mixon was a beast again. The Packers edged the Jags on the road, although they lost Jordan Love in the process to a groin injury. We'll see how Jordan Love progresses this week and see if he's able to go next week. The Falcons got a road win at the hobbled Buccaneers. Man, what a rough week for the Bucs. They lost Mike Evans and Chris Godwin in the exact same game last week. Godwin for the season. The Patriots beat Aaron Rodgers and the Jets, who have now fallen to 2-6. It just keeps getting worse for the Jets. The Devontae Adams experiment is not working well for them. The Dolphins saw Tua and the offense return, but they did lose to Kyler and the Cardinals at home, 28-27. The Lions scored 52 points at home, crushed the Titans 52-14. This offense is ridiculous.
Yes, it is.
They are averaging 43 points per game over the past month.
Is that good?
I mean, it's good for them. I can tell you it's bad for fantasy.
True.
And it's bad for their card values, I can tell you that. Because as we've talked about before, way too many mouths to feed there.
They're all eating.
The Browns had probably the upset of the year. Deshaun Watson goes down with a torn Achilles. Jameis Winston replaces him last week, or maybe the week before. And they, behind Jameis Winston's 334 yards and 3 touchdowns, beat reigning MVP Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, and the Ravens at home. Shocker.
That's a bad loss.
A true shocker. The Eagles went on the road and blew the doors off the Bengals. Another shocker. Although the Eagles have looked better over the last few weeks. But let's be honest, that Bengal defense is not Bengal Tigers of a defense. They're more like your standard house kittens abandoned in the rainforest at this point.
Why is the cat there?
Caleb Williams met with Jaden Daniels in Washington for the first time. There's 2 rookie quarterbacks battling it out in Washington, and guess what? Jaden Daniels looked much better in this one as the Commanders were able to get by the Bears.
One on a Hail Mary.
Yeah, crazy. But the Chiefs improved to 7-0. They beat the Raiders on the road. Really not a shocker. The Broncos torched the Panthers at home. Also not a shocker. And the Bills are looking very dangerous now. They blew the doors off the Seahawks at the 12th man, which was pretty impressive. The Chargers beat the injury-riddled Saints to improve to 4-3. Big day for Lad McConkey.
Oh, that lad.
Oh, that lad. Monday night, Giants at Steelers. Any thoughts on the NFL this week?
Did you know, and I agree with you about the Rams, and they played the Lions week 1 and did not give up 43 points.
No, yeah.
Did you know that every team that has played the Lions has lost the next week? So, they're not only punching you right in the mouth, or at least they're beating you, but then they are bludgeoning you in the process. They are wearing you out, and then by the time the next week comes around, you are not in a good place. That is a sign of a team with an identity that is playing very well. How about this Anthony Richardson news? Guy legit was just like, I need a break. I'm really tired. And so he did. I don't know if that's really a great look. I know the NFL is kind of tough on the body.
Just a little bit.
A little bit.
A little bit.
But for a second-year QB trying to establish himself with a second-year head coach, and they're really trying to build from the ground up, probably not a great sign. I don't want to be old man on porch yelling, but, like, I'm going to be. Like, you can't really have that from the young buck who's you drafted him because he's an athletic freak. So he's going to be moving around.
Right. Yeah, I'm with you. It's not a good look for the Colts or A-Rod. Can we even call him A-Rod?
We saw
A-Rich.
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 Looking more like A-Rod.
Yeah. Let's move to our NBA update. We now have NBA updates. The Lakers are 3-0 behind a LeBron James triple-double, 32, 14, and 10 against the Kings.
Cool.
Crazy. The only issue, they're allowing 116 points a game still over that first 3-game stretch. With an old-ass team like that don't bode well for them. Obviously, we said Bronny hasn't played since game 1. I don't think he should ever play again. Oklahoma City is out to an undefeated start, along with New Orleans, Golden State, Cleveland, defending champion Boston, and Atlanta. And guess what? Denver is 0-2, conducting the Russell Westbrook experiment. We've talked about it before. We'll talk about it right now. Are you ready for these stats?
Honestly,
Russell Westbrook is averaging 4 points, 3.5 assists, and 3 rebounds per game. Do you know what his shooting percentage is this year?
Probably not great. He's not a very good shooter.
He is shooting 11% from the field.
I'm sorry. I thought you said 11%.
I said 11. 1-1. 11%. And this isn't just like, oh yeah, he's only taken like 5-6 shots or something. No. He's taken 18 shots.
Oh.
In 2 games.
I see.
This dude flat out sucks. He's 35 years old. Look, I went to UCLA. I'm a fan. I want to support the dude, but man, it's time to retire.
It's been time.
Russ, 11%. Come on, man. Any thoughts? Any words?
For Russell Westbrook, no. I've long not been his biggest fan. The Lakers story is nice so far. Maybe JJ Redick is the truth. I didn't mention this in the first part about Bronny James, but until like the season continues onward, he's still just LeBron's podcast partner. Yeah. So I don't want to hear the stories until things are just like, it's a full season.
Yep.
Right now, and this sort of plays into why this is my least excited NBA. And again, I love basketball. I love the NBA, truly.
He really is. He loves it.
But right now, the story is the people who don't play. And that's the NBA right now. Joel Embiid, not playing, saying he's just flat out not going to play back-to-backs. So cool. I love that for the league. Kawhi, the lamest superstar ever. Just not playing, right? Mm-hmm. There's another superstar that's in the same boat that right now is eluding me. I think Paul George is hurt again. Still got that stink on him from his time here with the Clippers. That's the NBA. And it's just not enjoyable. So, cool. Yeah, the Celtics are still good. The Lakers are no, whatever. You know what I mean, though? Like,
yeah, I mean, look.
Like ESPN did their list of the 100 best players, and Joel Embiid's like 3rd or 5th, and it's like, yeah, when he's on the court, arguably the most talented player in the league.
Yeah.
And I went to Kansas, to you and Westbrook and me and Embiid.
Right.
But like,
it's not. No, it's not fun to watch.
To be fair, he got hurt in his 1 year at Kansas too, so like maybe we should have seen it coming.
Yeah, maybe. But that'll wrap things up for us here at the Hollywood Rip Studio for episode 11 of the Hobby Headquarters. Hope you enjoyed this week's episode. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe down below. We really appreciate you guys doing so we can keep pushing up towards 2,000 of you incredible subscribers.
So incredible.
So until next time, I'm Mr. Hollywood, that's Joe Nasty. We will see you at the next one. We are